everyone, how are you doing today? My name is Karina and welcome back to Ready Set Pan. Today we are doing yet another update for my Use Those Eyeshadows project. This is where I randomize a shade of eyeshadow in my collection. I have a spreadsheet of all of the different shades in my collection, whether singles or palettes, which is most of them. Randomize a shade, use that shade 10 times, but also use that palette holistically. Usually 10 times, meaning that I'm reaching for the whole palette. I'm getting to know the palette. I'm really focusing in on a shade. I try to wear my pans down evenly, so I'm not really hitting a lot of pan in this project, unfortunately, but it helps prevent me from getting bored because eyeshadow, I gotta switch it up all the time. So this project allows me to play, experiment, get to know my collection better because I get a lot, or really most of my eyeshadow from BoxyCharm, declutter, depot, rip things apart, all of that good stuff. So I have 3 shades that I'm working on at a time, and just so you guys have the color story of what I've been working on, we'll throw that one up there so you guys can see it as well. It's not the most summery, but you know, it's been working all right for us. So we're going to start off with the longest standing shade, which comes from my Persona Identity 2 palette. This has been in for 2 months, and of course I rolled in the shade Limitless, which is a matte black. You will be seeing where I was last time, and again, I just used this in the outer corner to deepen, so there's not going to be a lot of usage on it. But this is the palette as a whole, and this is the shade right here. So I'll throw up a video so you guys can see again the tiny bit of progress I've gotten on this. I have enjoyed reaching for this palette as a whole, although it does look summery, but I feel like it's more of like a fall palette. And I said this last year when I used it. I needed to reach for this shade an additional 4 times to reach my goal of 10 uses. I used it 4 times. I've met my goal. This is going to be rolling out. Then we have the 2 shades I rolled in last month. And guys, this first one comes from the Tarte. This is the Sunrise Amazonian Clay Eyeshadow Palette. This has been in the project before. This time I have rolled in the shade Icon. So this is one I had a tiny bit of use on before, not as much though, but because this is more of like a shimmery metallic color, there is more progress on this one. So this is the palette, nice neutral every day. This is the shade I have been working on. This shade is currently all over most of my eyelid today, so you can kind of see it in action here. And this exact look is one I've been doing a lot of. It allows me to play with the eyeliner I'm wearing today, which is the Quo Ultraviolet eyeliner. But yeah, this is a combination of Adore to Set. I've put Element in the crease. I've got Charming in the outer corner, and then I've got Icon all over the rest of the eyelid. I've been doing this for most of the looks. I've actually reached for this shade 8 times, meaning that over the next month, I only need to reach for it 2 more times to meet my goal. And then the last shade was one of the very early shades in my list. It comes to us from this Natasha Denona Biba palette. Now, I rolled in the shade Elle. Of course, you'll see where we were last time with it. And with this palette in particular, it didn't matter which shade I rolled in because I would have used all of them together, and I did use all of them together. And in fact, this roll-in came in so handy, you guys, because as you've heard from other videos, I was away for about 8 days, traveling, visiting some family in another province. I took this with me, and I did the exact same makeup every day while I was gone, but I feel like travel makeup is a little bit different because you're going more for convenience and just kind of getting ready to get out, go see family. So this is actually showing some good wear. So this is what we're looking like now. Elle is this middle shade right here, and you can see there's a little bit of a dip forming. I'll get a video so you can see it a little bit better. But there's a little bit of a dip forming. There's some brush marks very clearly evident on that now. You can see more brush marks on the outer corner shade, which obviously has the least amount of use. Because with this Elle shade, I would put that in the crease. I kind of do it all over the lid as well, kind of setting. Because I didn't have a lid setting shade, so I kind of just used that as well. And then I used a decent amount of the shade Monroe as my all over the lid shade. So this got good use. This was brand new last time. I've used it my 10 times already. So this is also going to be rolling out of this project. That is really exciting because I have met my goal on 2. I wasn't expecting to do that this month. So let me just swatch the Tarte Icon because I will be staying in. Then we'll start doing some rolling. That there is a swatch of Tarte Icon. And of course you can see that all over the lids. So let's roll in some new shades. So I am going to get into my Pretty Random app. It looks like they've done some updates. So that's kind of nice. And we're going to be rolling in 2 new shades. So excited. Okay. So, shade number 1 is going to be number 202. I adore rolling and stuff. It's so fun. Then the second shade I'm going to be rolling into this project is going to be shade number 390. All right, guys, I have pulled the shades, and this is a palette I'm excited to play with again because this is my Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. The inside is a gorgeous palette. It is also kind of colorful, so again I get to play with some of those colors. You guys saw this palette not too long ago because in this project I was working on the shade Supernova, and now I'm going to be working on the shade Libra, which is, not a bad option. So that is this shade right here, and of course I'll get a video up so you guys can see it a little bit better. That is something I use as a crease color, and although it is on the pink side, it's still fairly neutral. So I can go any direction. I could go more neutral look, I could go more colorful look. I get to play with a lot more of this palette. So let's take a moment, and there is a swatch of it right there. So just a very light, pale pink, almost kind of leaning a little bit purple really. So that will be fun to play with, and I'm just kind of excited about that one. And then we're going to be pulling for a palette that has been in this project before, although we are going to reach for a different shade, and that is a palette I've actually depotted and ripped apart. So we are going to go back to my Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina Pro Pigment Volume 1 palette, Mouthful. You guys know that was a palette I ripped apart because it was too big, and it's a very colorful palette, so it was very overwhelming, and a lot of the shades, either they didn't perform well, or just a lot of the purples, unfortunately, or it's just shades I'm not going to use, right? Neon reds, oranges, yellows. I just don't do a lot of that. But the shade I rolled in this time is the shade D2, which is this colorful piece right here. It does have a bit of use on it currently, and this I am kind of kept in this kind of Z palette here. So I'll be reaching holistically for this palette. So what I have in here, this is there's 2 shades in another palette because they didn't fit, but this section here, and this is where D2 goes, is most of what I kept from that Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. And then on this side here, this is my Dominique Cosmetics, it's the Transitions palette, so a lot of natural colors. So, with this kind of color story, I can do a lot. I can go really colorful. I can go neutral with a pop of blue. So it's going to be kind of fun. It's going to be kind of a fun go. So that's going to be the palette I'll be using it with because that's where it's come from. Shadows are also magnetic. That was a nice discovery. And this right here is a swatch of that blue. So again, not the most intense blue, but that's kind of a really pretty color story like that. So then in terms of goals for the next month, obviously I only need 2 more uses on Icon, so we'll get that one done really quickly. And then I do have a lot of eyeshadow in other projects, so I am keeping that in mind, but that's what I said last time, and I still managed to do 2. But I think between the 2 of these, I'm going to reach more for the blue. That was D2, simply because that, is obviously more colorful. And when it comes to going back to work in mid-August, I'm not sure, that will become more of a weekend color if I still have it. So I'm going to put my priority there. And then again, I might still use Libra for some more colorful looks. So I'm going to have color to play with. That's going to be kind of fun for the summer. But I think that's what I'm going to be doing with my new color story, the goals I'm setting. I'm just kind of excited for it. I always like rolling in these new shadows. But that is going to wrap up yet another update for my Use Those Eyeshadows project. Let me know of the color story, what you think of it. Let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments below. And I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video very soon. Have a wonderful day.